Hello and welcome to our viewers here in Nigeria, the continent and all around the world. This is Newsroom Series and our spotlight today is on the Northeast region. But just before we get into the business of the day, let's bring you our main news headline. At this time, 10 teenage Nigerian girls trafficked to Ghana have arrived at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. They arrived at about 9:55 p.m. on Friday. Chairman and CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, says the rescued girls have been handed over to NAPTIP and their respective states for rehabilitation and counseling. She reiterates the need for a permanent solution to eradicate human trafficking in Nigeria and is urging parents to always question the whereabouts of their children when taken away by relatives or friends. She also encourages collective efforts to ensure traffickers are identified. In the meantime, the trafficker has been arrested and charged to court in Ghana. And gunmen have reportedly abducted 3 brothers who work for Fauni Nigeria Limited. The brothers were said to have been abducted around 6 p.m. on Friday alongside one other passenger of a boat. They were traveling in around a Falomo Bridge en route from Apapa. While the police is yet to officially release the names of the kidnapped victims, it is believed that the managing director of the company was one of those abducted. The Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundein told Channels Television that the Marine units of the command got a report that 4 persons were kidnapped around 6 p.m. on Friday. He said the incident is still being investigated, but gave assurances that the victims will be rescued. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has raised an alarm over alleged irregularities and corruption regarding the recently released names of successful candidates by the Police Service Commission in the 2022-23 Police Constables Recruitment Exercise. A statement signed by the Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Dejobi said the list released by on the Police Commission Service Commission portal is full of several names of successful candidates who did not even apply and therefore did not take part in the exercise. According to the statement, the published list contains several names of candidates who failed either the computer-based test, the physical screening exercise, or both. This includes those who made it to the last stage of the exercise but were disqualified, having been found medically unfit through the standardized medical test, but who also made the list of successful candidates as published by the Police Service Commission. And we're hearing just a moment ago that Finidi George has resigned his coach as coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria after handling just 2 matches in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The former Ajax winger confirmed to Channels Television that he has stepped down as coach of the 3-time African champions. Reports are also indicating that Finidi has sent his resignation and that the Sports Ministry is aware of the situation. However, his employers, the Nigeria Football Federation, is yet to make a statement on the matter. Watching Newsroom Series, our emphasis and focus today is on the Northeast region. And we begin in Yobe State, where hundreds of Muslim faithful say they cannot afford to buy sacrificial animals ahead of the Eid-El-Kabir celebration, as the prices have skyrocketed beyond their purchasing power. Visits by Channels Television to Kukarita and Katerko livestock markets in the state revealed that the ram sold in 2023 at 70,000 naira is now between 121,000 and 30,000 naira. The situation forced many to either go for goats or chicken instead of ram, which is the major sacrificial animal.
Slaughtering of ram during Eid-El-Kabir is an annual practice by Muslims to commemorate Prophet Ibrahim's obedience to sacrifice his son as a test of his faith. A ram was instead slaughtered in his place. Since then, Muslims across the world have continued to observe the sacrifice, which is one of the pillars of Islam. This commemoration comes with difficulties this year as many residents battle the high cost of food. Ram, which is the major sacrificial animal, has added a few more zeros to its price tag.
Prices of the animals have skyrocketed. Rams sold at 70,000 naira last year is now sold between 120 and 130,000 naira. A lot of the people may not slaughter anything for this Sallah due to hardship. It is only the rich that are buying ram. The poor are busy buying millet. We want government to assist the poor because they cannot afford to buy the animals for sacrifice. The prices are now twice the amount from last year.
Islam cleric Abdullahi Bula explains that the sacrifice is not compulsory for those who cannot afford to buy the sacrificial ram. But all is not lost, as there are 4 categories of animals that are acceptable for sacrifices.
This is only for those who have the means. And that is why even after the sacrifice, you realize that people who are poor are expected to be given this meat. So if everybody is rich, I don't think the meat should even be distributed. So the religion is so concerned about those who have the means. That is why, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, that Allah do not put a burden on a person unless what he can bear. So for those who are poor, it is even expected that this meat should be given to them as a charity.
With the situation in the country, many are resigned to the fact that this year's Sallah festivity may be celebrated without sacrificial animals, as they hope that things will ease up by the next Sallah celebration.
And Taraba State gets our attention next as Governor Agbukefas is seeking the collaboration of the State Assembly for a law establishing the Taraba Geographic Information Service to assist in the development of the first ever Taraba Master Plan. This follows an executive bill sent to the State Assembly for the would-be agency to enhance security surveillance through precise mapping and streamlining of revenue collation digitally. Taraba State in northeast Nigeria has been without a developmental master plan since its creation out of the defunct Gongola State in August 1991. This has virtually affected its land management and administration, leading to poor utilization of resources and underdevelopment for almost 33 years now.
Most time, why some projects are very slow, is deliberate, because at this Taraba does not have a development master plan. And we have to engage a consultant to come up with master plan, working with Bureau for Land and Survey and other agencies, the Office of the Secretary of Government, to make sure that will come up with a very comprehensive master plan.
To create a legal framework for the administration and land management, the state governor has sent an executive bill to the House of Assembly seeking to establish the Taraba Geographic Information Service, an agency expected to increase government revenue through accurate property assessment and a drastic reduction in fraudulent land transactions. The bill has scaled first and second reading, and it is at the public hearing stage for more input from MDAs, CSOs, and other interested parties.
As we are here to represent your interests, we equally invite to hear from the professionals, stakeholders, interest groups to enable us pass a law that will stand a test of time.
The benefit of targets would include improved efficiency and effectiveness in governance, which I believe is part of the 5 fingers of the present administration. Enhance coordination and collaboration among stakeholders, better management of natural resources and infrastructure, which abound enormously in the state, increase transparency and accountability, support for sustainable development, and economic growth.
When passed into law, the TGIS bill will assist Taraba State create a developmental master plan using geospatial technology to fight against insecurity, attract potential investors, streamline IGR collation digitally, and assist government with accurate decision-making.
It is impossible for you to have a modern developmental master plan without having targets in place. What are we talking about? What is geography? When we say geographic information system, we are talking about geospatial data. That means for us to have a master plan in the state, definitely we must have a view of the land use land cover.
The passage of the bill will go a long way to help the state and individuals in the management of the affairs of land in this state. So this is one bill out of many bills that should be taken seriously. And I'm sure with the conclusion of this public hearing that the bill is going to get a speedy passage by the time the committee reports to the plenary.
Experts believe that with the identification of over 130,000 taxable properties in 11 of the 16 local government areas of Taraba State, the state government hopes for speedy passage, as a further delay will cost the state a lot in terms of developmental planning to secure an efficiently managed future. Away from Taraba in its efforts to achieve the much-desired universal health coverage, the Adamawa State government has embarked on a sensitization of members of the public to enroll into the state contributory health insurance program. The scheme, which also offers free enrollment and healthcare service to internally displaced persons, people living with disabilities, and the elderly and pregnant women, has the last 1 year recorded 180,000 enrollment.
The Adamawa State Contributory Health Management Agency was established in 2022 by Governor Ahmadu Fintiri to give civil servants and other residents access to stress-free and affordable health care. 2 years after its flag-off, the initiative has witnessed progress. There have also been challenges along the way as stakeholders in the state's health sector gather in Yola, the state capital, to brainstorm on how to create better outcomes. The Commissioner for Health, who is represented at the event, appeals to civil servants to take advantage of the insurance scheme.
Your insights, suggestions, and concerns are invaluable as we shape policies and initiatives that will shape the landscape of healthcare delivery in Adamawa State.
Team lead of the Adamawa State Contributory Health Management Agency gives an insight into the advantages to be derived.
This agency was reinvigorated 3-4 years ago when His Excellency Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri came on board, and that was premised on the low indices, health indices in the state. And so the agency was mandated to ensure that more people are enrolled under the health insurance scheme. So 3-4 years down the line, we invited all the stakeholders in the health insurance ecosystem to be able to harvest feedback and also get recommendations on the way forward. We also presented our scorecard in the last 4 years, and that has been essentially the reason for having a town hall strategic engagement meeting. It's the first of its kind in the last 4 years.
Participants share their views on the program. Some service providers commend the efforts of the state government and also suggest ways to improve the scheme.
The scheme has taken off with bold steps taken by His Excellency Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, and as we speak, this scheme is up and doing very well. So we are very confident that the momentum the ASHMA has taken from its inception to this moment, you listen to the numbers, So we are very confident that ASHMA is on the right track and is moving very fast.
People have rights to complain and they should be listened to, but it's one way. It's two-way thing. Hey, when you complain, it's either you are not fully aware of your rights, like what the executive secretary talked about, the benefit package. Enrollees, they should get to know about the scope of coverage. What services are available for me to enjoy?
This strategic engagement will be held in the 21 local government areas of the state, with follow-up meetings and more sensitization campaigns.
You're watching Newsroom series now to other stories in Bauchi State, where Toro Right, I'm told that we have to take a moment. We'll be back with more stories as we take you to Bauchi State. We're back in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is Newsroom Series. Toro and Eid-El-Kabir have been identified as high-risk local government areas that are expected to experience flooding this year in Bauchi State, as the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has now listed 9 local government areas in Bauchi State that will be affected by flooding. This was revealed during the downscaling of the 2024 flood early warning strategies to the grassroots levels for effective and efficient early actions. The state is expected to develop risk reduction measures and take action to minimize the impending dangers. Our correspondent Hajira Aliyu tells us more.
Flooding is a yearly occurrence in the country, and Bauchi State is always affected, causing huge losses to communities. In 2023 alone, the State Emergency Management Agency estimates over 900 million naira in losses and 17 deaths. To minimize the losses this year, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is downscaling flood early warning strategies and risk mitigation messages to the grassroots level. The 9 local government areas identified as high risk to moderate risk are Toro, Itasgado, Bauchi, Jama'ari, Shira, Zaki, Ganjua, Warji, and Katagum.
High flood risks month local government. In the month of April to June, we have Toro local government. From July to September, we have Toro again. October to November, Itasgado. These are the high flood risks local governments in Bauchi State.
Stakeholders are expected to take action to reduce the risk.
Similarly, sectors of agriculture and food security, water sanitation and hygiene, education, health, transportation, protection and security, amongst others, are to set up mechanisms for disaster preparedness and risk reduction based on the early action strategies.
Meanwhile, this community leader advocates for strong laws to protect the environment.
A windstorm is mostly caused by felling trees in our local communities with accomplices from the cities. We need strong laws as a measure to prevent this occurrence.
To minimize the impact of the impending disaster, some of the actions expected from the state include implementing disaster preparedness, awareness creation, risk communication, financing the construction of culverts and pathways for water flows, and discouraging construction in flood-prone areas, among other measures. Hajira Aliyu, Channels Television News.
The Victim Support Fund, in partnership with the Yobe State government, says it will expend about 130 million naira in providing skills acquisition centers across 9 communities of Fika, Juba and Gulani local government areas of that state. Chairman of the fund, General Theophilus Danjuma, represented by the Executive Director, Professor Nana Tanko, disclosed this while flagging off the construction of granite oil processing centers, computer centers, tailoring and carpentry workshop in the states.
The Boko Haram insurgency had in the last 14 years inflicted hardship on several communities in the northeast, destroying their homes and means of livelihood. The process to rebuild lives is ongoing, and it's been a tough couple of years for those still plagued by the nightmares. The Victim Support Fund has been in the forefront of this restoration, and residents of Fika, Gujba, and Gulani local government areas of Yobe State welcome the executives of the fund to the foundation laying of several skills acquisition centers.
Ever blessed.
We are hoping that everybody takes the ownership of this project. This one I'm speaking to the youth, because whatever thing that we're doing here is because of youth that we're here. Because maybe the village head now, their own time must have passed. But even when they are gone and left, you people will still be here. So we encourage you to take seriously this project, to make sure that you guard it jealously, to not allow anybody outside this community to come and then dissuade you or cause conflict that will lead into the destruction of this project.
Next is the flag off of the groundnut oil and mill processing centers, carpentry workshop, computer center and tailoring center at Kukar Gadu and Gadaka communities by the Executive Director of Victim Support Fund, Professor Nana Tanko, representing the chairman, Theophilus Danjuma.
The amazing thing with the Victim Support Fund is that we have the capacity to extend the little money that we have to do so much. The whole of the budget we are spending in these 9 communities for these interventions is about a little bit less than 130 million. So you can imagine, yes, but the impact is more. And the reason why is this. For example, in every community, we didn't have to hire a contractor to construct. The community members are giving in their labor free to the process. Of course, we are giving them some stipend, but not in the way that a contractor would have given. So because of that, that has reduced a lot of the cost.
The team visits other communities in Gudba and Gulani local government areas. The representative of Yobe State government believes the interventions will complement Governor May Malabuni's recovery process.
When by the implementation of this project by the Victim Support Fund, it will help greatly to the entire community of Gadaka people, whereby most of the vulnerable people will become at least up to date in terms of entrepreneur and some skills that they will be vibrant in supporting themselves in the near future. So the state government is greatly very happy to this project.
Beneficiaries are grateful for the opportunity of a second chance.
We have gained a lot for the benefit of our women and all people concerned here in Gadaka, more especially the Good Emirate members. We are very much happy with this program.
The fund is expected to supply equipment for the skills acquisition centers and workshops in the 9 selected communities when completed.
And finally, on the program, adolescent girls in Gombe State might have a second chance at education with the launch of Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment project. The World Bank-funded project seeks to return 10,000 adolescent girls between the ages of 10 and 20 to the classrooms and empower them with life skills. Gombe State Commissioner for Education, Professor Aishatu, reveals that Governor Inuwayaya, as a he-for-her governor, has prioritized the development of the welfare of girls in all 11 local government areas of the state by modernizing girls' schools and introducing 21st century subjects.
Gombe State grapples with high levels of adolescent girls dropouts who have left school due to lack of sponsorship, early marriage, unwanted pregnancy, or housemaid servitude. This situation may soon change as the Inuwayaya government has signed the Child Right Act into law, which has paved way for the implementation of the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, a World Bank-funded project that will give dropout adolescent girls another opportunity to get education free of charge.
This project is very dear to our hearts because our governor is a he-for-she governor. He has in his first tenure passed the Child Rights Act, which is a prerequisite for the Agile project and very many other projects. And it encapsulates his vision for the girl child in Gombe in terms of education and life skills for her to become very useful in the society.
For the Commissioner for Women Affairs, the Agile project is a dream come true.
I'm so passionate. This is dream come true. When I was in house as a chairman, House Committee on Women Affairs and Special Duties, I chaired the committee that passes the bill. You know, the bill has been lying there in the house for 19 years. So when I came in with the support of His Excellency and my colleagues then, we stood our ground and we passed the child protection law. And it has been implemented, assented by the governor. Now we are implementing it, which one of the benefits is Agile and also Nigeria for Women project.
While mapping out an awareness campaign, the implementing body for the Agile project in Gombe State said Inuwayaya's exploits in the educational sector has softened the ground for them.
Well, we are very optimistic that this project is going to change this situation. Already, by the governor bringing it, we realize that it's going to be popular because His Excellency is very determined and he's very supportive to this project. So we are very optimistic that when we begin to go to the communities, they will welcome us. Some of them are already coming by themselves. We have been receiving different groups on courtesy, like the women in Da'awa, like the Muslim Ummah. They have been coming to our office to pledge to assist us. So we are optimistic that it is going to be accepted in Gombe.
With massive sensitization awareness campaign currently ongoing, more secondary schools are to be built as 10,000 adolescent girls receive empowerment through education and vocational skills in the first phase of the Agile project.
And that report on educating girls in Gombe State does it for us here on Newsroom Series, special edition and focus on Northeast region. Thanks indeed for watching. I'm Kelly Egiga. Bye now.